Okay guys, so we're back here, day 2 of our racking process. Now we have let the finisher sit overnight. Well, it's been sitting for 24 hours and it's been a long wait. I'll show you how it looks now. And I'm sure if you go back and compare this to the old one, it's super clear. Yeah, there's a lot of gunk on the surface, but most of the things have sunken down. You can see some free floating bits in it, but overall it looks really clear, really nice. So I think this finisher really did its job well. We'll see how it looks when we actually bottle it, and we'll be adding a lot of things to it, so we'll see how it turns out. But the only thing I've done now before I started recording is I have melted down the honey. That's the wild raspberries, and this is, as I will be using as a sweetener on everything else. This one is for the forest one with the tea and the lingonberries. And this is for sweetening everything else. And I've just warmed it up basically with some warm water, as little water as possible, to make it super concentrated. We don't want to dilute this too much. We still want that alcohol. So hopefully this will work. Okay, what we'll start by doing is adding all the spices and fruits and berries and stuff to the different flasks. And I'll set up the camera and I'll just speed through it so you guys can at least see what I'm doing. And if there's any place I get stuck or anything that's a bit complicated, I'll talk to you about it. I'll also be using these. This is just a filter sock that I bought at the local home brewery store. And it's used for, like, yeah, adding things to your beer or wine or whatever. It's just a piece of cloth, really, with big holes in it. So it's gonna make cleanup a lot easier, so we don't have to filter everything when we get to the next stage, to the actual bottling. So with this, we're gonna put everything in these and then dunk it into the bottle. Okay, so all I've done now is I've suspended the sock over the opening in the bottle, and we'll be pouring our lingonberries in. This is 300 grams of lingonberries, and I'll put it up how much that is in pounds here. Or I guess ounces is a more proper way of measuring small things. Okay, so now we're back to lovely voiceovers, but I had to speed these parts up because it's just me pouring things into socks. It's not super interesting. And here we added the lingonberries, and now we're adding the fir needle tea and then the wild raspberry honey. Then just putting a knot on the bag and dropping it in. Something I actually thought about later is that I should have suspended the bags with a piece of like steel wire or something, so it would be easier to pick them up. But well, live and learn, I guess. Here we're adding the sloan berries. I'll put them up later in the next clip, what they're called in English, so because I can't remember. You guys have weird names for things. And all these berries are frozen, so to make it easier to get them in, so you don't accidentally make jam out of everything. Okay guys, here's the thing. I'm making up this recipe as I go along. So everything's not exact, I'm doing it a lot on feeling. So don't copy me straight off until you see the final result, because I don't know how this will turn out. And the reason why I'm saying this, I just had a change of mind. I'm just adding together the one with the slånbär in it. And I still can't remember what they're called in English. Put it up here. And I'm gonna add anise to it. Anise. It's not anus, but it's something similar in English, like anus or something like that. These spices I'm gonna add. And now by smelling it, I was gonna add 2 bags. But now just smelling it, it's so strong, I think I'll only use 1 bag. And this is 16 grams. Okay, now we'll be adding 2.5 deciliters of our original Lynghonung, our common heather honey. Okay guys, so to this one we'll be adding 11 grams of clover, nejlika in Swedish. Be adding 20 grams of whole cinnamon, kanel in Swedish. And as you can see, these are full whole sticks. And then we'll be adding this. This is 2 full sticks of vanilla in Swedish. Okay, now we'll be adding whole peppers. So I'm not sure how much of this we'll add, but we'll see. We added an entire 12 grams of peppers. I think they will do real nicely in there. And because I want this to be the dominant taste, we're gonna add another bag of clover, nejlika. So this is another 11 grams, so a total for 24. 11 plus 11 is 24, right? A total of 22. Oh, they smell so good. And then we're going to be adding 2 deciliters of our original honey, the Lynghonung. Okay, so now we just have our sour left. So we'll be adding our strawberries. This is 300 grams of frozen strawberries. Okay, these were actually a bit big, I think, to fit in there. But I could have cut them in half, at least the big ones, before I did this. But they all fit. It just, some of them got a bit smushed against the rim. Drop one there, but no one noticed. And now we'll add our squeezed lemons and limes and also the peels. Okay, and now we'll be adding 3 deciliters of our honey. Actually, I changed my mind. Let's just go with 2. We don't want this one too sweet. And since we only have 1 deciliter of leftover honey now, like I guess 1.5, we're gonna add it to the forest one, because I think that's the one that's in most need of some extra honey. Okay, now we're gonna do the last one. The last one is just gonna be a sweet mead. No spices, no nothing. It's just gonna be a sweet mead. So this is real simple. All we're gonna add is 5.5 deciliters of our honey, and I've just warmed it up until it got into a liquid consistency. Added a bit of water to make it easier to handle, and now we're gonna add it. The good thing about doing stuff like this is that you can always correct yourself, usually. If you add too much of something, then yeah, it's gonna be hard to correct yourself. But if I've added very little honey to each of these containers, even the sweet one, which means that if I need more sweetness, I'll just add more honey at a later stage. So this shouldn't be a problem so far. And now we're gonna get to the actual racking process. So what I will do, I'll take my racking cane, I'll add it into the must, and then we're gonna start racking it into these bottles. And I'll show you exactly how my equipment works in a bit. So we're gonna take a racking cane, and I have a small attachment on the side to make it easier to actually connect it to the bucket. And we don't want to stir this up, because now all the yeast is either at the top or the bottom. So we don't want to stir it up, so we actually get that into the bottle. We want to separate as much as we can already at this stage. So we hit the bottom there, which we could actually done without, but I went up about this much. And this racking cane has actually a small cup at the bottom, so it doesn't suck in from the actual bottom. It sucks in about that much higher up, and we added a bit more height to that, so we shouldn't be getting a lot of the dead yeast into this. So all we have to do to start this is that we pump a few times on this, and it should start siphoning. I don't know if you saw that, but the starting of this wasn't really super clear, so I added a bit more height to it, and now it's a lot clearer. And now we play the waiting game. Okay guys, as you can see, the bucket is now empty. You can see this in the bottom, you see that it's almost just dead yeast in it. And here you can see, I thought I miscalculated and made too much. But here you can see how much I lost because of the yeast. Okay, so what really happened here was that, as I said, I miscalculated again. I didn't account for, this is my first time, so it's a learning experience for all of us, right? So I miscalculated for how much we actually lose when we're racking it the first time, because a lot of it is just yeast mixed must. It's not really well tasting, which means that I managed to fill all the spiced ones, but the sweet one is about a third of the way full, almost, yeah, a third of the way, which sucks because you can't really age it with that much oxygen in it, so I won't be able to age this one, which sucks. But on the upside, I can drink it because there's nothing wrong with it. It's gonna be very sweet since I added, well, what I thought at least. I don't know how it tastes yet. We'll do a taste test later. I just added as much honey as I thought 5 liters would do, and now we have added like 2 liters. So I think it's gonna be, it's a bit sweeter than I like it, but you know, it's mead, we'll drink it. So but the other 4, they're fine, and we're gonna age those, and I think it's gonna turn out really well. Okay, so we got 4 bottles of mead with different spices in it. So these will sit for approximately a month, maybe. I'm gonna go smell them at least once a week and make sure they're feeling fine. And I'll try not to open them and let any air in, but hopefully though, it will be fine. It will be fine. The next episode we're gonna bottle the one that didn't turn out that well, and we're also gonna do a taste test on it. I think that's gonna be, I'm super excited about it. So that's what you will see in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It always helps out a lot. And if you have any questions or comments, please write them below. I try to read everything, and I'll answer those who require an answer. Bye.